In this video, I'm going to talk about my best advice for property and casualty insurance agents. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Sakha. I started my insurance agency journey in 2017 where we grew to over $5 million in earned premium in less than 5 years. We did it organically and I had no experience in this industry. We've since then become a $10 million insurance agency, writing just over 250 policies every single month. If you want to know exactly how we've done that, I've recently come out with a course on my blueprint to how we got to 5 million in less than 5 years. You can check out the description for more details. Without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to break down two different strategies, a short-term strategy and a long-term strategy. Obviously, when you're trying to grow your insurance agency, they're all going to be intermingled and it all counts really, but there is a difference between what you should be focused on short term and what you should be focused on simultaneously long term. Let's start with short term. Short term strategy should consist of internet leads, personal referrals, and customer referrals. Let's talk about internet leads. So let's start with internet leads. I know what you're thinking when you think of internet leads. It's that the lead companies sell us a lot of crap, and they do. I mean, there's disconnected numbers, people that aren't interested in getting a quote, wrong phone numbers, and you're also thinking that, like I was, when I would return these bad leads, how I wouldn't even get a full credit, and it would just drive me off of the wall. However, leads, internet leads specifically, have contributed to a large part of how my book of business has grown over the years. And so they're almost like this necessary evil, as I like to call it, right? And however, and you're also thinking that the leads might not be as quality and that they're just going to shop us in 6 to 12, in a few renewals, they're going to be out of here anyways because they're price driven, which is also true. However, we can set up processes that, one, can convert more of the internet leads. In my opinion, it just takes more dials, it takes more attempts, and it's not just the attempts that in the beginning, but it's like aged leads. As time goes on, I think that internet leads can become better. And so also, if you have good service processes in place, maybe you can retain more of this lead business as well. Now, internet leads is a short-term strategy, like I said in the beginning. I think that in the beginning, and me being 5 years in, I'm still technically in the beginning, that it's very important to utilize internet leads and to have processes in place to make them successful. Now let's talk about personal referrals. Personal referrals is technically a long-term strategy, but it's also a short-term strategy. You're going to have to ask everybody for referrals when you're starting your insurance agency or you're starting at an insurance agency. You need to ask everybody. I don't care if you're messaging people on Facebook that you barely know or that you maybe worked with at Pizza Hut in the past or you went to community college with them. Message them. You are going to get as resourceful as possible in the short term. And then customer referrals. Every single person that you close, you ought to ask them for a referral. You ought to assume the referral. Hey, do you have any family in town? I would love to take care of them the way I was able to take care of you today. So you've got to ask everybody in the short term. And so internet leads, personal referrals, and customer referrals are necessary when just starting out in the insurance industry. Okay, let that be a large part of your short-term strategy. Now, let's go back to internet leads. When you're starting out in the insurance industry, internet leads is where everyone's doing their shopping. Like everybody, they're Amazon, they're buying clothes and shopping. And so people are also doing this for insurance. And so we need a piece of that. We've got to get a piece of that. And when working internet leads, you do need to have a solid strategy behind it. Don't be like me when I first started out with internet leads. It was like, hey, if we can't get you a better deal, we won't even call you back. Like, that's not a good strategy. Now we have a lot better processes in place where we're calling these leads a dozen times, like dozens and dozens and dozens of times until we get a hold of them, until we make something work from it. We're also setting up reminders, triggers, whenever maybe this lead is not good right now, but we can set up a reminder for their renewal to maybe get them in the future. It's just working smarter, not harder, and being willing to outwork the competition that's also calling on these internet leads. And so, again, everybody's doing all sorts of shopping online, and insurance is one of them. And so we have to use that as a strategy short term to grow your business, or if you're working for an agency to get closed deals. That's the lowest hanging fruit in the beginning. Now that we've talked about my best advice for a short-term strategy on increasing your sales or growing your insurance agency, let's talk about the long-term strategy, okay? And they both need to be done simultaneously because honestly, they all intertwine. The long-term strategy for growing your insurance agency is building a personal brand and having center of influences. And why? Why do I say that this is the long-term strategy? Because this is going to take time. Okay, when you're building partnerships with, dealerships, or building partnerships with loan officers and mortgage officers or realtors or other insurance offices, it takes time for them to trust you. You've got to build that credibility with them. You've got to establish that relationship and be able to water it over time. I don't think that this happens overnight. People need to be able to trust you. And if I'm being honest, whenever somebody starts, like a friend starts in a new industry, I don't really trust them at first, right? When your friend starts selling solar, right? I'm like, let's give them 6 months to a year. Let's see if they're still doing that, right? Same with realtors. People fail within 2 years. And so people don't trust you from the jump. They're going to want to see that you're going to stick around before they trust you. And therefore, it takes time. It takes time to build these partnerships over the long haul, okay? I'll use an example. One of my top performers right now, he's averaging about $60,000 in premium every single month. That's about 50 policies for us. He started with me, and in his first 2 years, was establishing all these relationships. Then he took a break and he stopped working with me, and he's recently come back. And now this is why he's writing $60,000 every single month, because he's retapped into all these connections, all these partners that he built in his first 2 years, and he has that credibility in the insurance space. That's just a quick example. Let's talk about social media and building a brand. This also takes time. It literally is exactly what I just talked about, how when somebody starts at a new industry, they don't trust you yet. It has taken me a long time and a lot of consistency to build a personal brand around me and the insurance space. Now, because of that, people are not only sending their family and their friends and their colleagues to us to get quoted, but they're also referring people to come work for my agency. So when they know somebody that's looking for new work, they're sending me good quality people half the time, to come work for my agency. And so if you think about that, that is, helping my agency not only with sales, but, helping me find candidates to come work for my agency. And so it helps my agency altogether. I know I, kind of dwindled off and started talking about hiring real quick, but as a long-term strategy, and I know social media and building a personal brand isn't for everyone, but if you do it right, it will also help you build those COIs. Because why? When somebody follows you on social media, follows you on Facebook, follows you on Instagram, they want to see what you're all about. And when you have a supporting brand that helps with your industry, and people can follow you and automatically know what you do for work and know what you're involved in, and you also do a great job of building that personal brand by maybe showing a little bit of your personal life, they have more trust with you because of your personal brand. Therefore, they're going to send more people to you. They're going to send their clients to you. They might get their own insurance from you, and that's the best way to do it. Because if they have their personal insurance with you, they're willing to send their friends and family to you, and they send their clients to you, then that's a win-win altogether. And so I hope that this makes sense for all of you guys. That is my best advice for insurance agents. When I bring a new staff on, I communicate to them that, look, in the short term, you'll be able to succeed with all the internet leads that I provide and all the marketing that I provide for you here at the agency. The training, the internet leads, the mailers that we're sending out, the marketing that I do, right? I'm constantly promoting my agencies, and that should help you in the short term. And we also have a huge book that you can cross-sell. But in the long term, I tell my employees, you need to establish your own personal brand, okay? Build a personal brand so that way you get your entire network and your network's network to send you business. And that's how this game works, okay? And when you go out and you start establishing partnerships with realtors, mortgage officers, loan officers, car salesmen, and other insurance agents, they are going to be able to follow you and see exactly what you do. And if you're posting good content, you're posting a good brand, and they like you, they're going to send business to you as well. So that is my best advice for insurance agents in the property and casualty niche. If you want to grow your insurance agency or increase your sales, be sure to do all those things. Internet leads, personal referrals, customer referrals, build a social media, build a personal brand and center of influences, develop those relationships, find mutually beneficial ways to help them, and they will help you. If you guys got some value out of this video, do me a huge favor, destroy the like button, follow me on my social media platforms, check out all my other videos. Thanks again for watching. Peace.